Welcome everybody to Prancer.com. This is our instructional video to make the bone broth and soup for the GAPS diet. This will be part one, making the bone broth. As you can see on the counter here are our ingredients. We have one peeled, topped and tailed onion and carrot. Bear in mind all these vegetables are organic. To do that, we used our vegetable peeler, our chopping board, and our knife. We have our choice of meat of the day is going to be chicken. This is an organic free-range chicken from our local butcher. Selection of herbs. We have some fresh rosemary that we grow in our garden. And we are also very fortunate enough to have a bay tree in our garden, so the bay leaves are here as well. And then depending on how much bone broth you want to make, your mineral water. Each of these is a 2-liter container. 4 liters should pretty much do it for the pan size that we have. So everything is now on the cooker for the GAPS diet soup. The pot on the right is the one that we prepared in the previous segment. The pot on the left, we always tend to do this in 2 batches. We made a pot of beef soup as well. As you can see in here is the same carrot, rosemary, onion, bay leaves, and we did get some beef on the bone. We were also fortunate enough to get some marrow bones to put in there as well. That will not only flavor the soup, but the marrow is also good for the GAPS diet as well. So what we're going to do with these is bring these up to a vigorous boil, and then we are going to let these simmer on a very low heat for 3 to 4 hours. Okay, welcome to the veg prep section of our GAPS diet soup. This is the vegetable prep area. We have some zucchini, which has been peeled, a few carrots, which has been peeled, a few onions, which have been peeled, some broccoli and cauliflower, which has been destemmed, and we also have a butternut squash, which, as I move here, we will end up peeling and dicing into small cubes, roughly about a few centimeters by a few centimeters by a few centimeters. And this will be the vegetable component of our soup. Okay, so I've now picked the chicken. As you can see here, it's a whole bunch of skin and meat. You'll also notice that there's these little you'll see these more around the legs, these little white globby bits. They're very fatty looking. You do want, I don't know the technical name for them, but you do want these as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the pot. Make sure I get all the meat. And then I'm going to add all my pre-cut vegetables from before. Add the courgettes or zucchini, depending where you live. Butternut squash. Just dump it all in. Doesn't have to be any special rhyme or reason. Just needs to go in. Carrots, onions, broccoli. Now when you cut this, be sure to get just as much of the bushy bit as you can, and same with the cauliflower as well. So I'm just going to dump this in, and then I'm going to add my chicken stock or bone broth. So I'm going to add it just until it gets close to covering the vegetables. If I have any left over, I want to save that. The bone broth is good for anybody, really. So I'll just dump it in up to about here. So it's just covering the veggies a little bit and the meat on the bottom. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put it back on the oven, and I'm going to heat this until it comes up to a rapid boil. And when we do that, I'll tell you the next step. Okay, welcome back. This is the next step of the GAPS diet soup preparation. What we did is boiled the soup after adding in all the vegetables, and after it comes to a rapid boil, what we're going to do is we're going to turn down the heat and let it simmer for about 25 to 30 minutes. Once we do that, we will add in some garlic and let it come back up to another rapid boil. Now, since this is already boiling again, all we do is we add in the garlic and we stop. So I will do that, let this cool for a little bit, and we will get to the next step. Okay, welcome back. We are at the final step of the GAPS diet soup making today. We have our chicken soup here with our vegetables. It's been boiled, simmered, and it's all ready to go. It's nice and cool. It's ready to be put in storage containers. And depending on how whoever you're making it for likes to eat it, you may or may not have to blend it up. We have a young child who does not like chunky bits, so we have to use a hand blender to pulse this up and smooth it out. So what I'm going to do is start with a low setting, put in the hand blender and give it a good few pulses and stirs. It's going to take a couple minutes to stir up, so I'm going to do a little bit here, and we'll be back in a few. Okay, so after a few minutes of blending, we have our soup. It looks like so. What I'm going to do is get a spoon, divvy these up. They last in the freezer for a while. This size batch tends to last our little one about a month if you do this in conjunction with another meat. She'll have this for lunch or dinner, and then the other one vice versa for lunch or dinner. And that lasts around a month. Maybe another extra day or two after that, and then you'll have to sort of repeat the whole process again. But thanks again for tuning in, and this is our GAPS diet soup. Thank you.